Hey everybody, it's me, Alfred. I'm back again for yet more Clockwork Empires. Yeah, let's just get this started. So, Clockwork Empires has now officially pushed version 35. I'm going to start a new colony here in New Sogwood. Version 35 saw a bunch of significant changes, most of which I actually went over in my revision 34C video, which I published unbeknownst to me like 2 hours before 35 went live. So although the differences between version 34 and 35 are pretty significant, the differences between 34C and 35 are not that significant. So I don't intend to cover all of the same territory I did in the video I just did prior to this one. But I'll cover some of it. I mean, some of the cool new stuff, right? Bamboo and mines. And where the hell have we landed? Yeah, anyway. We're in the middle of a beetle stampede. Anyway, let's get this started. So I figure the game is now stable enough for me to do sort of an actual play, like playing it through the way a sane person would play it, right? Rather than playing it as someone who's exploring game mechanics and things. I figured the average player might not be interested in like the numeric food value of lingonberry pie versus wheat and bushels of lingonberries. So I believe I'll play this through. So I'm going to try and play these couple of episodes through from the perspective of the colonial overseer, someone who's trying to make sensible decisions, you know, all for the greater good of the colonial empire. I mean, having played this game from earliest access through to the present, there's kind of an optimal way to play, but it's not really the human way to play. So hopefully that's a little bit more interesting. And for those of you who are just tuning in to check out, you know, what the game is like, what is this game about? Yeah, you know, hopefully it'll be a good demonstration of that as well. So what's going on here is that our colony, our colonists have landed in this new and unexplored territory in the jungle somewhere. There's 16 of them. They're divided into work crews, each of which has an overseer, and I have a small number of military, which is led by an NCO. The fauna of the New World is strange and varied. We have jungle fowl here. We have giant beetles here, both of which are an excellent source of meat to feed our hungry colonists. Maybe they turned down the armoring on the beet. So beetles have this trait called armored. Some things are armored, like some monsters, some bandits who wear armor, and basically anything that's armored takes half damage from essentially being shot or hit or whatever, which makes them much tougher, right? Man, there's just this constant slow trickle of fishmen at the borders of the colony. Anyway, so what would a sensible colonial overseer do now that everyone's landed and we're just getting our supplies sorted? I figure the first thing anyone wants is food and shelter, right? And of those two, the first thing is probably shelter, I think. I mean, we came with some food stores, but food will be a close second. So we're going to build a big bunkhouse I'm going to pause for a second. Things are getting really frantic in the background. There's a surprising amount of beetles here. I think we'll actually be okay with serious food production for a little while. Now I've only got enough cloth for 5 beds. But I'm actually not going to build all 5 yet. Actually, I think I will. Whatever, I'll come back to it. My NCO was interrupted slaughtering a chicken, or a jungle fowl. There are so many fishmen everywhere. Colony's never going to have a moment of peace. So I figure the next thing people will want after they build after they build sleeping quarters is a way to guarantee their food supply. And after you have food and you have shelter, then we can start considering what a colony's priorities might be after that. For now, survival is of primary importance. Let's set up the workshop so that it turns some of our raw logs into planks, which can be used in woodworking. Our stockpile filled up surprisingly quickly. All I did there was filter the stockpiles like I usually do, so the new one holds only food and the old one does not hold food. So it's possible to see at a glance how much food I actually have, and it's not mixed in with like bolts of cloth and like iron pipes and wood and stuff. Okay, lots of fishmen corpses everywhere. We can recover some of those for food. So revision 35, broadly speaking, it brought in some changes that enable a colony to be self-sustaining. You can now grow bamboo as a crop in your farms, which makes it a renewable source of lumber, and bamboo poles, which are harvested from those crops, can be used in place of logs, so when building, like say, structures. And they can also be processed at a carpentry workshop to produce planks, which are used in making modules and things. Now they do, I mean, you have to grow them, so obviously it takes some time and labor to tend the farms, all of that. But now you'll never run out of wood, basically, which is especially important on the jungle biome, because trees tend to be a lot more scarce, right? See these coconut palms? They produce food, but not timber. So it's quite easy to run out of building materials on the jungle biome. Which just means you have to put a greater emphasis on scavenging and farming up wood in this case. All well and good. Another thing that contributes to a colony sustainability now is the mine. So mine is a new workshop. You build it, and then you build a mine shaft in it, and colonists will wander in and out of there, hauling up armfuls of random, I want to say minerals, but they're not all minerals, substances. Things you would mine out of the earth, so like ores of a random variety, like gold, iron, copper, but also things like sand, things like clay, and things like peat. Which is cool. I mean, again, because so you're not reliant on these surface nodes, which will eventually deplete. Okay, I think the sleeping quarters are well underway. The next thing I would want is a kitchen. Got a whole bunch of raw food. Oops. Let's do that again. So kitchens is not as great a priority now as it used to be in previous versions. In part because of the way food priorities or food values worked, or they used to work. So every food used to have a numeric food value, and when a colonist ate, the food value would, the larger the food value was, the longer it would keep them full, basically. And colonists would eat whenever they were hungry. So that was changed a little while ago. Food no longer has a food value. And colonists will now eat once a day. This represents a slight simplification. As I understand, this was done for purposes of, for reasons relating to the way the AI works. Now the way food works is eating uncooked or boring foods like raw berries or raw cabbage. It can be done. And if no food is available, then colonists will begin to starve and stuff. Cooked foods will make a colonist happy, whereas raw foods will make they'll give colonists happy memories or sad memories. And a colonist's overall happiness or sadness will contribute to how susceptible they are to things like cult influences. So I think we'll just wait for some of these jobs to catch up with us. Why? There are 3 perfectly good beds here. Herbert wood. Changes were made to the memory system as well. So you see a list of memories, things they've experienced lately. Now the sum total of these memories determines their overall temperament, how willing they are to work, that sort of thing. Essentially their personalities. As new memories, the way it used to work was that new memories would displace old memories. Like there's just a maximum number of memories, and the oldest ones would like scroll off the edge. Now, memories, the influence of a memory decays over time, and new memories are the freshest and strongest and most influential, which means a colonist's overall personality is less prone to like abrupt, violent mood swings, and their personalities will stay more consistent over time, but they'll still reflect their experiences. Man, I've got a lot of raw food accumulating. I really ought to get some of this cooked. I should expand our food pile a little bit. Let's see. Don't have any stone, actually, which will be a problem when I'm trying to build my stone ovens. Alright. What would a sensible colonial overseer build next? I've got food, I've got shelter. Do I care about refining metals? I suppose... actually, as a representative of the Empire, it's my duty to spread the religion of the Holy Cog. So my next building is going to be a chapel, which will tend to the spiritual needs of my colonists. I'm even going to make it cross-shaped, kind of. Although I've received some dispatches from the Empire, so I'll get back to that. Supply drop. I'm going to need building materials. I think I'm okay for food. Sure, we'll take 3 extra criminals. I'll use the extra hands. Let's Traditionally, the way, 19th century Britain got rid of its undesirables, shipping them off to the other side of the world. Let's see. Yep. Alright, everybody's been auto-assigned. Back to the chapel. I don't have the gold necessary to make a stone altar, so we'll make do with this wooden altar for now. Let's get some chairs in our chapel. Maybe just one for now. And of utmost importance, a door. Or two. I think it's important that we get started on some farms. I mean, we had a lot of stockpiled food, but it's going pretty quickly. What kind of crop would... Don't think I need wood, or wood is sufficiently abundant for now. Sugar sounds like a... Sugar and opium both sound like luxuries. Corn, flax, or chilies. Corn sounds like a nice reliable crop for now. Alright, let's get a crew assigned to this kitchen. See what, got a bunch of raw beetle, not a bunch of orange cup fungus. So I'm going to say, broadly speaking, I would always like there to be 10 stew. But, if we have the ingredients, I want to make the specific foods that are associated with orange fungus and beetle. So I've ordered these priorities. All of these are standing orders. The kitchen crew will always try to maintain these levels of food in the food stockpile. Now, when there is orange cup fungus, they'll focus on turning it into pickled orange cup fungus instead of cooking it into stew. And same goes for raw beetle meat. And when I have other things, they'll turn them into stew. If I ever run out of these first two ingredients, but I still have food in the food stockpile, it'll become stew. Being able to set the priority system like that is nice. In that, before it existed, we had a real problem with, you'd like, I want some pie, and pie requires 2 different types of foods, but I've also got stew queued up, and stew will accept anything as an ingredient. So the problem was that the stew production would just override everything, and you would only make stew. But it's not much better now with the current priority system. I've got a lot of crews, but not a lot of people per crew, so I'm going to take 3 people. I get a bonus prestige point because I helped with the overpopulation issue back in the Empire. So my 3 arrivals are the laborer, the overseer, and a poet. So only one of them is an actual worker. One of them was an overseer. You can see this, the new one, Mrs. Iron Pendle. I'm assuming the new worker got assigned somewhere. And the poet. Poet does not appear as in the workroom menu because the poet never works. There we go. Nope. Where is he? Oh, here we go. So the poet is an upper class column. So in our population menu, there's a number of filters, right? All of our overseers are middle class, and our NCO is also middle class. All of our laborers are lower class, and then we have a very few upper class colonists. The aristocrat, the capitalist, the poet in this case. The poet Does no work, but he does contribute to the prestige of the colony, so his mere presence lends us a prestige point. If he dies, our colony loses a prestige point. So, you know, pluses and minuses, right? Here he is writing some sort of suitably Byronic poem about this tuft of grass, just like in the home countries. Right, Construction seems to have halted because I've run out of timber. Fair enough. So we'll wait for construction to catch up with us. But I think we've got a good start. Hopefully we'll see some of the cool new stuff in the course of play. I'm hoping to finally see a fishy transformation. Finally had confirmation that it's even possible now. The fishy transformation is, it was shown in Clockwork Empires' December trailer. You should check it out on their website, on the Gaslamp Games website, if you want to see for yourselves. It was a new thing. It was a new gameplay mechanic that I've never had the opportunity to observe. Why did this farm only come in like 2/3 as wide as it should be? Eh. Right, so that's a little bit of Clockwork Empires gameplay. This is Revision 35. I imagine... Oh, nice. Yeah, I'll get back to that. What happened here was that this jungle fowl wandered into the fields intending to eat crops, which is something animals will now do. Oh, I'm being attacked. I'm sure my soldiers can handle it. So colonists can respond to... Oh, we're very short on food. Someone's just going to eat raw fowl out of the field like that. Colonists will respond to animals trying to snack on your crops by shooing them away. There's a shoo away job they'll take. Here come the fishmen. Soldiers will shoot at them, which is what happened there. Which is why that jungle fowl got killed in the fields. As I was saying, that's a little bit of Revision 35 gameplay. For those of you who are wondering, you know, what kind of game Clockwork Empires is, I hope you'll stick around and see me build a colony up. Ah, this jerk. I need that food. Yeah, the fishmen will actively destroy your crops because they're jerks like that. Looks like everyone is eating fish tonight. So I'm going to wrap this one up here, to be continued in future episodes. I mean, I'll give this, as I have done, each revision gets its own moderate length playthrough. Hopefully I'll have an opportunity to show you the cool new stuff. That said, thanks for watching. My name's Alfred. Have a good one.